Alright guys, so welcome back to my channel. My name's Gajvik. Good to see you guys for another month, this time with our November events. Now before I get into my events from November, well, with it being December, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Toyotathon, whatever you guys celebrate. Wish you guys happy holidays this month. Now with that, let's get into our November events. So I started off on Thursday, November 2nd at the Garden. All right, so when I got there was quite a bit of people there at the Garden. I think they were having a food tasting since the bartender showed me their new menu and like the new foods that they had. So since there was house kind of already playing in the radio, I continued with it, with that house, moved into Latin house, and then continued the rest of the night with Latin. It was Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, so Barbara Del O was there and was there for the drag show as well. So Barbara showed up a little bit early and kind of saw that there was already people there, so she decided to do an early drag show just to kind of contain the people there. So it was about 10 or 10:30 when she did the first performance, and she did a performance of Adele. After that, I opened up the dance floor, kind of continued, like I said, with that Latin house, since we still had people there left over from the food tasting. I didn't really get a lot of dancers, so I just continued with that kind of lounge vibe since the owner did want me to kind of lower the music down. It wasn't as loud. It was more kind of that loungy level that evening. And that second show started about 11:30. It was Josie who started off the show, Josie Cavallari. She opened up the second show, and then Barbara performed her second set after her. And then after that, I just continued playing music up until closing. All right, my second event was that Saturday, November 4th at Wedgwood.
It requires communication, trust, and the occasional mulligan. But just remember, in both golf and marriage, it's not about keeping score.
So this couple had a very unique ending to their ceremony. The groom was a big golf guy, so him and the bride putted a little golf ball down the aisle after they were pronounced the new Mr. and Mrs. So that was really fun. It was really something different that I've seen in ceremonies. One of the things that they did forget to tell me was apparently everyone was wearing black. I didn't get the memo. They didn't tell me. So I was wearing black slacks, a gray suit jacket, a light pink shirt, and a black tie. So as you can tell, I was really standing out of all the guests. And the Wedgwood staff, they always wear black for the most part. So the only person that had color was me, which I felt kind of awkward that they didn't tell me, but I just went with the punches. So anyways, my track list for that night consisted of some classic rock, some emo punk rock, some 2000s, some 2010s and 90s pop, and they even did a conga line. I have a Dembow remix of Gloria Estefan's Conga, which I played and they were having it. So it was good to see that. The next day, I was back at Wedgwood on Sunday, November 5th for another wedding at the Citation and Patio side. They were a more mature couple. The groom was from India and the bride was from China.
In fact, inspired just by seeing.
It was a relatively small wedding with just their close friends and their relatives. Something that they did do differently was that for their first dance, they wanted to invite anyone that wanted to join onto the dance floor with them for their first dance. So that was something different that I haven't seen in a while. I think I may have only had one other wedding that did that, but for the most part, that was something different that they did do. That night's track list consisted of 80s dance, some 80s pop. There was some Bollywood music that they gave me in a hard drive to play, and it was mostly kind of throwbacks for that wedding. The groom did want to end this reception early. He did have some relatives that flew out right after dinner, so they did the toast and they bounced. There wasn't a lot of people left, and either way, he wanted me to just to kill the music. That way he can converse with the friends and family members that he still did have there. I don't know about you guys. I still stayed until everyone was completely out. Everyone had completely left the building, just for my security of them not being able to say that, I left early or something like that. So I waited until all the guests left, and then afterwards I picked up my equipment and bounced. My next event after that was Thursday, November 9th, back at the Garden for my residency. This time they went away with Latin nights. They didn't want any more drag shows for the time being, since it was going to start to kind of slow down during this holiday season. So they decided to just push more for an industry night instead. My track list started with some house. They did want me to place it with some R&B, so I played some R&B, some hip-hop, some pop for sure, and very, very sprinkled in Latin in case if I did see like Latin clientele, I would throw it here and there. For the most part, I would go in waves. So go into the 128 BPMs, pick it up, drop it down to some R&B, some slow stuff, and pick it back up. So I continued on Saturday, November 11th at Wedgwood on the patio/citation side for an 11/11 wedding. So the track list of this night consisted of more R&B, more hip-hop, some Latin stuff, kind of like reggaeton and some merengue, some more of the popular ones, some dance hall, pop for sure, and then some country. So after this, I had almost like a week off. I picked it back up at the Garden on November 16th for my industry night residency. Here you start to see kind of a little bit of the impact of the holidays, since it was a little bit quieter. But I did invite some of my peeps to come join me for that night. All right, so 2 days later, on Saturday, November 18th, it was my last wedding of the month. Their last name was Boo, spelled Bough, but pronounced Boo. So they did have a lot of Boo-themed songs in their playlist. So for example, they did have that song, No, My Little Boo Thing by Paul Russell, and My Boo by Usher. So they had those are kind of prime examples of kind of songs that they had. A couple things they did differently that I really liked was for the mother-son dance. Obviously, the groom danced with his mom, but then halfway through, he wanted me to invite all of the guests that had parents, so whether it was mom or dad, onto the dance floor to accompany them for the second half of the song. So that was really nice. It was really good to see their guests kind of grab, their parents and dance with them on the dance floor, as the groom danced with his mom. So it was really cool. The second thing that I really liked that they did, instead of doing a garter toss, he did a football toss. I forgot to grab footage of this, but he literally just grabbed the football. He had all the unmarried guys on one side, him on the other, turned around, threw it back, and whoever caught it, was able to take that football home. So it was something different. That way, guys are a little more interested in it. But I thought that was cool. I played the NFL theme in the background too as he was doing that toss. So for the track list for this night, it was mostly kind of country. We did have some classic rock, some 2000s pop. We had a lot of funk, and then I threw Danza Coduro since there was a couple that were like, hey, can you play something Latin? So I did throw that really quick mixed it, and then continued obviously with what they kind of wanted for their playlist. So after this wedding, I did have a buddy that wanted me to cover for him at this club on Las Vegas Boulevard near downtown. It was Latin night, so I did throw in my Eclipse set or Latin set throughout the whole night. There was kind of like a show that they do before they open like the main floor. I did play their song, played with their lights, to go with the music, and then after that kind of just continued Latin vibes throughout the whole night. After this point, I was reached out previously, I think it was the month prior, from the owner of Patio Nightclub that's located kind of in North Las Vegas. He wanted to do kind of some Latin mix night on Tuesdays, which he was able to implement this with me on that Tuesday, November 22nd. One of the things I did kind of give him feedback prior to this was that he had a certain night going on that Tuesday, and I told him that if he were to switch it up, he was gonna start off from ground zero because he was gonna lose that clientele of the people that were going there regularly on Tuesdays. So he still decided to do it. As you guys can see, there wasn't anyone really there. After that, he kind of decided, just to quit Tuesdays in general, just because he wasn't getting that revenue he wanted for that on Tuesdays. The other owner's representative was there too. She liked the way I spin. It just, unfortunately, there was no one that showed up. So It kind of sucks. Still, I mean, I was there and I worked, but it's still kind of an L, you know, for no one showing up really. But after this, Thursday was Thanksgiving that week, so obviously I was spending time with my family. I had both my girlfriend's family and my family over. We had a nice dinner. We had to sleep early since the next day I had to be up early to beat that Black Friday traffic into the malls. I was at Charlotte Russe at the North Outlet from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for Black Friday, for their Black Friday event. I had my business partner DJ Speed at Charlotte Russe at Gallery at Sunset, and we had DJ Bolam at Premium South Outlet. So it was all three of us working from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We were playing some radio-friendly music, clean edits, obviously. But I like it because it's very open format. I'm able to play kind of whatever I want. But it was cool. It's nice. I like it. It's a good vibe. You see shoppers dancing, walking in, or sometimes they even pop in just because they hear the music and they just want to see what's going on. And especially when they see us like DJing, they're like, oh shoot, they have a DJ. And they walk in and they shop around. So from here, I headed over to the storage, dropped off the equipment, and then headed over to the garden for Pop Fridays with Salem Night. So it's mostly mainly kind of house and pop music throughout the whole night. There was a drag show at 11:30. And then from there, I kind of continued playing until closing. So I had a full week off, and I was back at the garden on Thursday, November 30th for Industry Thursdays. With rent being due the next day, I wasn't shocked that it was kind of empty on Thursday. But aside from that, the track list for that night consisted of just house music. I kind of kept it just loungy vibes that night. And with that, that was all my bookings, all my events for November. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys liked the format. I'm going to be doing more of these. Once again, I do have footage for December. I can't wait to get all that edited and get that ready for you guys to watch. So once again, don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys liked about this video. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to go into depth about any of the videos or any situations. Let me know. But other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Gajvik out.